Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Alignment Academy. It's Kristen, your host, and if you've never met me before, then hi, I'm a mindset and intuitive guide, angelic channel, and honestly, I'm obsessed with helping people heal, step into their purpose, start their soul businesses, overcome the fear of being seen. I do a lot of things, but those are the things that I am most passionate about. I am super excited for this solo ep today because we're going to be talking about something that I have helped literally hundreds of women do, and that is find their purpose. I feel like I am an expert at knowing how to find your purpose because not only have I done it for myself, but yeah, I've helped so many people do it. And if you don't know how, it's really hard to know. I did it through trial and error. It took me years and years and years to really refine this process. But I am so confident that if you're like, Kristen, I want to step into my purpose, but I'm not sure, or, I want to step into my purpose, but I don't know what it is. I just know that what I'm doing isn't it. We are going to clear all that up. And by the end, you are going to have a roadmap on how to absolutely step into your purpose so that you can be happier, because that's the point of life, is literally being happier. So with that being said, I want to talk about my journey to finding your purpose, because I think that the rest of the points are going to make more sense when you know my own story and origin of finding my purpose. So if you don't know me, then this is my story. And if you do, then I'll try to be quick. So when I grew up, I went to the University of South Carolina. I have a double major in supply chain and finance. I know that is so weird. I don't do anything in those realms, but my parents told me that to be rich, you need to be a doctor, a lawyer, you need to work in business. And I knew I wasn't going to be a doctor or a lawyer. So I joined the business school, even though I wanted to go into nutrition at the time. I went against my own intuition. And I was just like, you know what? I'm going to just do this finance and supply chain major. That's what my sisters did. And so I just kind of went to what other people that I thought were successful did, right? Because that's how we work as children. We mirror what we think is successful and lovable. So I had that experience. I got my dream job, quote unquote, at Under Armour right out of college. I interned there for a year, and then I worked at Under Armour in Baltimore, Maryland. It was a really great company. It was so fun. It had so many young people. And honestly, that's how I knew it wasn't for me, is because I was still miserable. Even though it was a really great company to work at, it was so fun. I just I didn't like it. And so I started in finance, and then I moved to supply chain, still hated it. Then I moved to HR, still hated it. And all of these jobs, none of them were terrible. I just felt like my soul was dying. In this whole process, this was a almost 4-year period. I remember I would call my mom literally every night and say, Mom, my soul is dying. I can't do this for another day. I just live for the weekends. I hate my entire life. I have to be there for 8 hours a day. And while I was at my corporate job, I just remember thinking it was so weird. I was it's so weird that when I'm done with my work, I can't leave. Why do I just have to stay at the desk even when I'm done with work? I just thought it was all weird. I really, really thought it was weird. I also thought it was weird that I had to ask my boss to take vacation. I'm I'm an adult. I feel like I should just be able to take vacation. But no, I had to ask and submit PTO, and I only had a certain amount of time, even if nothing was going on at work. I just thought some of the rules were weird. And now looking back, I think it's just my soul, one, it knew. And two, I don't think that humans are really supposed to operate that way. Just my unpopular opinion. I was really unhappy at that last job in HR. And during this time, I was going through a little bit of a depression. I was doing yoga, and yoga was the only thing that made me happy. And I decided to take my teacher training, and I became a certified yoga teacher. And I was at the time saving money to quit my job eventually, because I knew that I wanted to. So I was just saving up money. This is something that I recommend doing if you know you want to quit your job, is to saving 3-6 months of livable income so that you have some wiggle room once you eventually take the leap into whatever you're doing next. And so I was saving money, and then I became a yoga teacher, and a position opened up to be a studio assistant at my yoga studio. Shout out Core Power Girlies, because it was at Core Power. And I wasn't planning on quitting right then, but my soul was just Kristen, yes, do it. And so I left, I became a yoga teacher. I was teaching yoga full time. And at the time I was maybe I'll open my own studio one day. Maybe I'll do this. I had no idea what I was going to do next. All I knew was that it wasn't in the corporate world, and I just had to try something else. So now kind of looking back, I'm like, wow, I just really quit without a plan, but I really quit without a plan. So after I was teaching yoga for a few years, I started to get burned out because I was teaching like 7 or 8 classes a week and I was working at the studio. I was just like, it was too much yoga at the time. And I remember just hearing in my heart and in my soul, like, okay, this isn't it, but we're closer. You know, I was around really spiritual people and I knew I was closer, but it wasn't it. So on the side, I started my freelance marketing business at the time. I was helping some small businesses with social media or virtual assistant tasks. I was just doing a lot of things like in the marketing world. I was writing blog posts at the time. I was doing a lot of things. And I was teaching yoga. And my goal at the time was to build that up so that I could quit teaching yoga so much. I could just like go down to a couple classes and then do my marketing business. At the time, I was also like just trying to dabble in a lot of things. I remember taking a course for, you know, ads on Facebook and drop shipping. Like I was trying all of these different businesses in between. And this is a really important part of the journey because sometimes when you're finding your purpose, you have to go through the no's to get to the yeses. And we're going to get to that. But I was doing a whole bunch of stuff in between. I also was dabbling into life coaching. I was like, I really feel like, you know, this life coaching thing has something to do with my purpose, but I don't know. But I was also hosting yoga retreats, which I was like so excited about. And when I was hosting these yoga retreats, I would take these women for like just a weekend and we would go somewhere into the woods or, you know, wherever the retreat was. We would have such a transformational weekend. And so we would leave and all these women would end up like changing their lives and they would end up like, we would do inner child work and they would heal their inner child. I was teaching all the things that I actually teach now. And it was just like really inspiring to me. So I knew I wanted to do something in that realm. I was like, okay, I'm getting closer. I know it feels right. Like this is feeling more right than ever before. And then COVID hits. So all of my yoga stuff dries up. The studios close. All my marketing clients don't have a budget anymore to pay me. So it is like, you know, we're just out here. I have no way to pay my rent. I have no idea how it's going to happen. Like I am kind of freaking out at this point because COVID hits and everyone's freaking out. And at the time I was taking a life coaching course and I was like, Kristen, this is it. I guess we're going all in. I guess this is it. We got to just start this business. And there was no plan B for me. Obviously now you can see that it has worked out in my favor. I am a coach now, and this is definitely my life's purpose for now. You know, it might evolve, who knows? But that was the process of me finding my purpose till now. And this was like if we go all in, it's an 8-year period. I wanted to share this story because I feel like a lot of people when looking for their life purpose is they're looking for one destination. Kristen, what's my purpose? Is it to be a teacher? Is it to be a life coach? Is it to be a yoga studio owner? Like they are looking for that one thing that is their life purpose. And the thing about your life's purpose is it evolves with you. If I had left my job and was saying, what is my purpose? I need to know for sure what my purpose is. I promise you guys, I would have never found it because I would have never came on life coaching from just sitting at my corporate job and doing nothing. It was the journey and evolution and the next steps that all led me to the final destination, which is right now where I do feel like I'm living in my purpose. And so what I'm going to say for you is that it's going to be the same. If you're looking for your life's purpose, you might have been looking for this one thing it is, and you're like, Kristen, I'm not going to leave my job. I'm not going to do this until I know for sure. I hear that so many times with my clients. Like, I need to know for sure that this is it. And that's the thing, is it is going to evolve, right? And so that is going to be my first tip for helping you find your life's purpose is let go of needing to know the exact thing it is. What I need you to know is, what do I think it is right now? What is the next thing that's my highest excitement? Because all I really did in this whole process was follow the thing that felt the best at the time. At the time, yoga teaching felt the best. And so I was like, okay, this feels like the next logical step, right? For you, if you're sitting there and you're like, Kristen, I still have no idea, I want you to write down 3 things that you think might be it and then rank them 1 to 3 of the highest excitement. And then the first one, the top one, is the one that you're going to start to pursue next, right? That is like, you guys know I love homework, and that is your homework. Write 3 options and follow the one that's the highest excitement. For you, maybe it's not quitting your job right away. Maybe it's just taking a course or signing up for a program, but taking some action. So that's the first thing. The second way I want you guys to start to follow your life's purpose and find your life's purpose is to remove distractions. Because I remember when I was first at my corporate job, I was asking everyone and their mom, like, what I should do next with my life. Like, I was asking every mentor I had, every friend I had, I was like, I don't like this job. What should I do next? What should I do next? What should I do next? And the thing about that is, when we're children, we're so imprinted on everyone's thoughts and beliefs around success anyway. But then we go into the corporate world, or maybe like, I don't know about you guys, but even all my college friends, we were all doing the exact same thing. That was the only blueprint for success I had seen, is go to college, get a corporate job, go to college, get a corporate job. Like, that was the only thing that really made sense to do. And so I wasn't able to even think outside of that box that another thing could make me successful. So when I was at my corporate job and I was getting ready to quit, when I was at that last HR job, I remember really silencing the noise of everyone around me, meaning I muted so many people on Instagram to just like stop seeing that everyone was doing the same thing as me. And I actually started following people that like excited me more, people who were entrepreneurs, were doing different things. But you really need to remove the distractions. That's going to be huge for you. Where are you consuming too much that's kind of informing your way you look at your life, the way you look at yourself? If you are feeling like you are bombarded by other people's opinions, by your coworkers' opinions, by your friends' opinions, I am going to invite you to take a little social media break, right? Like 2 weeks off social media, not consuming anything, and see where your mind naturally wanders. Are you thinking about games? I don't know, video games? Are you thinking about yoga? Are you thinking about plant medicine? Like, what are you thinking about, right? And that's going to have some hints of like what you're feeling called to do next, but you really have to start to remove distractions and silence noise. Another way that I kind of like look at this is like getting to know who you are, like your deepest values, and the reoccurring themes in your life are going to be little hints to what you should be doing for your soul's purpose. So for example, at my corporate job, I was all consuming personal growth content the whole time. I was consuming spiritual content. I had my spiritual awakening when I was 17. Go to episode 1 if you want to hear that story. I just had a lot of hints that I was supposed to be working somehow in the spiritual personal growth world. So that is the second tip, is removing distractions. My third tip, if you're looking for your soul's purpose, is going to be to ask yourself, if I thought I knew, what would I say, right? Because so many people say, Kristen, I don't know. And like, you don't need to know for sure. But if you thought you knew, what would you say? This one is for the perfectionists out there who feel so much pressure to make sure it's exactly right before they move forward. Because like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, it's never going to feel like this is 100% it at first. It's just going to feel like, I think this is right. I think that this is right. And you really have to learn how to trust your intuition more than you fear it, really. Like, it comes down to just following those little nudges, because a lot of times you do know, which is going to lead me to my fourth tip for you, is to really ask yourself, like, do I really not know what I want to do next? Do I really not know what I think my purpose is? Or do I just not like the answer because it's really hard and I can't believe that I can do it? Or I don't actually think I can do it. And this is where overcoming the limiting beliefs really takes place. Because for me, I wanted to leave my corporate job at all of those jobs, at the finance job, at the supply chain job, at the HR job. And it took me like 4 years to actually leave it because I didn't believe that there was another way to be successful. And during that time, I was doing inner child work every single day to overcome the limiting beliefs that success could look different. I was literally meditating every day before work and telling my inner child, you are going to be so successful once you follow your purpose. I believe in you. I know that this isn't right for you either. You can do it. No one's going to be mad at you. Like, I was giving myself so much validation to go follow my purpose. And I know I sounded crazy at the time because I'd tell all my friends, like my corporate friends, I'd be like, I'm doing a lot of inner child work. And they'd be like, inner what? But it worked for me. And this is why also I preach inner child work like it's my freaking job, because it is, and because it helped me so much. And to this day, I still do inner child work like 4 times a week. I literally did an inner child meditation this morning. And if you don't know where to start with inner child work, I'll link my meditation below, because it is such a transformational tool for helping you believe in yourself, giving yourself validation, helping you gain confidence, helping you overcome the fear of being seen, helping you overcome perfectionism. Like, I've literally healed everything inside me because of inner child work, because all of these beliefs and all of these negative patternings start in childhood. So, little fun tip. My next and final tip for helping you find your purpose is, it's a quote, because this quote really helped me when I was following my purpose, and it's, go as far as you can see, and when you get there, you're going to be able to see further. And this is your permission slip to take messy action and fail forward, because every experience is going to just give you a little bit more of what you want. And when I look back at my journey of like teaching yoga and freelance marketing, everything was perfect, guys. Like, when I taught yoga, I was learning to use my voice. I was learning to be in front of people. I was learning to be seen in my full body. Like, those are huge lessons for what I do now. And then when I started my freelance marketing business, I was running social media accounts for small businesses. Like, what do I do now? I run social media for myself. All of these little things were giving me tools to where I am now. And this is also why you have to trust the process. Even if it seems like you got it wrong, you didn't get it wrong. Like, the universe is giving you a skill that you're going to need for the final destination. And I can guarantee that. Sometimes we need it to make sense in the moment, and the universe is like, can you just like wait a little bit? Like, can you just be a little bit more patient? Because it's going to make sense, but not this second, you know, like not this moment. So just remember that you might fail, but it's not actually failure. It's bringing you to the next thing. Now, those are my tips for finding your purpose. You have your homework, right? Silencing the noise, finding your values, looking at the things that you're already naturally drawn to, asking yourself, if I thought I knew, what would I say? And do I really not know? Like, these are all things that you can start to do to find your purpose. And if you actually take pen to paper right now and journal on the things that I told you to, you are going to come up with something. I can guarantee that. Now, the thing that I don't want you to do, here's the one thing that's like, this is the biggest no-no. This is what I don't want you to do if you're looking for your purpose. Not do anything at all. That's the thing. Purpose comes from movement. You get clarity from movement. You get clarity from trying things. You don't get clarity from sitting at your corporate job that you know that you hate already and saying, I'm just going to wait for clarity to come. And I always tell my clients that, like, guys, clarity comes from action. Even now when I work with a lot of my coaching clients and they're starting their coaching business and they're like, I don't know what my niche should be. Like, I don't know what my niche is. And I say, clarity comes from action. We just have to try something and we're going to know if it's right or wrong. For me, I tried yoga. I knew if it was right or wrong after a few months. And then I tried the next thing. And then I tried the next thing. And I tried the next thing. So the only thing I don't want you to do is do nothing. You have to pick something to do to have some forward motion and start to take action. And that will give you more clarity. The thing that I see holding a lot of people back is that they don't trust themselves to really be in it for the long game. And that's what you need to do if you do want to find your purpose, is you have to be in it for the long game. Like, if I just quit after teaching yoga, I would have never gotten here. If I just said, well, I'm not sure it's yoga, so I'm just not going to do it at all, like, I would have never gotten here. And that's the thing that I think people are not really like serious about. They want to be in their purpose, but they only want to be in it if it's 100% for sure that thing. And it's just never going to be like that. Like, you have to remember that it's never going to be 100%. There's so many different destinations that you can go. I mean, like, there's infinite destinations in the quantum field, right? You have to trust yourself that you can figure it out. That's the biggest thing. And that's another reason I see a lot of my clients, like, they come to me and they're like, well, I'm just scared of taking any step forward. And I'm like, well, okay, we need to work on self-trust then, because self-trust is the thing that allows you to fail and keep going. I no longer care about failing because I know that whenever I fail at something, I'm just going to pick myself back up and try something else, right? It doesn't like take a hit at me. It's not like, well, if I fail at this, I'm going to completely stop and be a failure and then like I'm worthless. Like, you have to really look at the long-term game of seeing the evolution of the soul. I know it's a little woo-woo. And my last thing that I'm going to kind of just like leave you guys with is that really at the end of the day, there's no right or wrong decision or destination. Your soul knows the way, even when you think it doesn't. And the only thing that is going to keep you stuck is by doing nothing. If you take one little step forward, let's say you quit your job and you try to start an Etsy shop and it doesn't work. Okay, so you tried an Etsy shop and it didn't work. Who cares, right? Try the next thing. Try the next thing. A lot of my fear when I was quitting my corporate job was like, I went to school for this. I put so much effort into this. What if I try and it doesn't work? Guess what? You can go back. You can go back to your corporate job. And I used to tell myself that all the time, guys. I would say, okay, Kristen, if you don't like this, go back. Go back to your corporate job. No harm, no foul, right? And the thing is like, you're not going to go back. I know you, and I know that you're probably supposed to do something rad. You're supposed to be an entrepreneur, supposed to be a coach, whatever. If you're listening to this, you vibe with me. So I know you're doing something big. And if it's really that wrong, then nothing is actually permanent, guys. We think that it's so permanent. Oh, if I quit this job, I might ruin everything. If I take this direction, I might ruin everything. No, you're not going to ruin everything. Honestly, you could probably get that exact job back. Truly, you probably could. I just want to remind you that you have the map inside of you, but you do have to trust yourself. You do have to be willing to fail forward. You do have to be willing to just take messy action and be in it for the long game. If you want to work with me to find your purpose and step into your soul's mission, then you can definitely apply to work with me one-on-one before my rates go up next year. But this is something that I am so excited for you guys to take and apply. So that is it for today, guys. I hope you learned a lot and are excited to step into your purpose and take some action. If you got a lot out of this episode, I would love if you gave me a 5-star rating on whatever platform you're listening to this on. Obviously, subscribe, like, do all the things. It really helps the podcast grow. And I am doing this all like out of pocket, really grassroots at the moment. So I just want to get this into as many ears as possible. If you know a friend that would benefit from this episode, please send it to them. Like, I love when my friends send me podcasts and I always listen to them and get so much out of them. So thank you guys. Let me know if you have any, requests. I love when you guys Instagram message me, when you TikTok message me, wherever you find me or wherever you listen to me from. And yeah, let me know what you guys want to learn about next. And I will see you soon. Bye.